You're going to pause your sync.
Yeah, I'm going to pause my
Uh, I remember when I had a sync.
Dropbox.
Seriously, at the moment, we're doing the washing up in the tiniest little sink you've ever seen. We've got this little tiny porcelain bathroom sink, and that's all we've got.
God,
It's
bless
terrible.
you.
Right, okay, that's the live stream up and running. So let's close that down. Save system resources. Stick that on Twitter.
Stick that on Twitter.
Tweet that out. That can save system resources. Bit of a
I might
running
have
theme
to.
here.
I might have to actually take my jumper off. I'm far too hot. Oh, naked Carl. Oh yeah, I'm live. Have that nipples.
Hey,
Oh,
I was actually looking away at that point.
really, round.
Yeah. It's not the time that I absolutely refuse to see Mitch's penis.
You do realise we're live, aren't we?
Yes, I know. But Mitch's penis has been on the internet for years. It's fine.
Yeah.
I was also, given that I'm currently having my kitchen fitted, I was looking at a new microphone, and my
As you do.
finger was just hovering over the buy button. It was just, I was like, no, I can't do it yet. I need a new computer and I need to pay for the kitchen. If I've got money left over, I can do it then, but I can't do it before.
I seem to have just carried on regardless without the fucking new
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah,
thing.
well, I want a more dynamic microphone because then stuff like this won't come out.
Oh yeah.
And
What
when
the
the
hell is
cats,
that?
that's me clicking. And
Yeah.
when the cats bump into the microphone, it makes that
Yeah.
noise. That won't come out. And
Yeah.
so yeah, I'm it's a bit more expensive dynamic microphones, but they give a much more
Yeah.
professional sound. So that's
Better
what I'm
sound.
thinking. Yeah, cool. I've done no talking points. Have you
No,
got
I
the
just saw
diary?
that.
You got the diary with the running order and stuff in there, haven't you?
Yes, I
Yeah.
believe I have. We're on
So
episode 74.
yeah, that's the one.
Oh, nice.
So cool. We'll just I guess we'll just busk it, see what happens, see what we come up with.
Normal shit. Normal services resumed.
Basically, yeah. See what happens. Should we
Round.
start?
Yeah.
Let me just start recording.
Oh, do you want me to record?
I'm fine. I'll just do it off the
You sure?
yeah. I'll
Cool.
just do it. I mean, it might be good for a backup, but
Okay, I'll
I'll
record.
just
2 seconds. Let me get Audacity open. Yeah,
yeah.
I got it.
It worked pretty well last time with the Zoom recording. Until I get my new computer, then we'll just do it this way because
Okay.
I'm not using Audacity, so I just use it to edit.
Do you know as soon as you press record, your sound always goes dodgy?
Yeah, it's probably system resources. Running theme.
Yeah.
Is it better
Yeah.
now, or has
Same
it
here.
sorted itself out?
No, mine's now telling me I've got low system resources. Just like, go
Oh, okay.
away.
Well, if that's a problem, turn off Audacity. It's not a problem.
You sure?
Yeah, it's fine.
There we go.
It's only if things go absolutely tits up, and even then, I can always rip it from the live stream. But
Yeah.
it just takes a few hours to render, so I just have to wait. I have to be patient. Right. Let's. Should we start?
There we go. Yeah.
Did you listen to last week's at all?
No.
Big hit there from Fernando Alonso.
It wasn't a great one. You're right.
Two cars in
It was shocking.
and the Brits are lighting up this sprint race.
But it works. They seem to have changed the software on Zoom so that the second recording it does the audio, and that actually sounds all right now. So
Oh,
this
really?
stuff here is being recorded as well as a third channel, which didn't used to be the case. It was really muddy. Now
Yeah.
it actually sounds okay. So
Oh, okay.
it's out of sequence slightly, but I just move it around.
Still haven't updated this then.
No. Other time.
Oh, Hitchcock with a big one. Big one.
God.
This is hard when we don't have like an opening script now, isn't it? It's like hard.
Yeah,
to,
what do we
hard to
say?
say-
What do
yeah,
we say now?
Yeah,
Like,
and
oh, we
we're back.
started. And
Yeah.
we're back. Here we are. Here
So
we are.
this week I'm the one with Fovid.
Are you?
Yeah, it's a cold. It's
Right.
it's man flu. It's
Right. So you know how I was moaning last week about
got my tissues.
COVID? No,
Yeah.
I didn't. You know how I was moaning last week about COVID? My
Yep.
trainee or my assistant, but let's call him a trainee because that doesn't sound as fucking egotistical. He went down with COVID
Mhm.
on Thursday last
Right.
week, which then I got sent home Friday afternoon and we started shooting on Monday.
Right.
And I've had so many tests up my nose of
Yeah.
PCRs and things, and everything comes back negative. And it's just like, for God's sakes, what is the story with this? Like, why does it keep thinking I'm going to have COVID? But nothing, and I had all the symptoms. No scar.
I won't say who it is on air because you know this person, but somebody from work was in the other day and was a little bit under the weather, and I said, "Oh, are you okay?" He goes, "Yeah, I got COVID." I was like, "Oh, okay." It's like, but you don't have to isolate anymore. It's like, yeah, but I don't want it.
Do you not have to isolate over there?
No.
See, we're still masked up at work. We're fully masked up all the time. We're getting tested twice a week, PCR tested twice a week, and antigens anytime anyone goes, I've got a sniffle. So we are tested to the hilt, but legally, if you have COVID, you still have to isolate for 5 days.
Yeah, no, we get none of that. None of that at all.
Yeah, how's your rates going over there?
I haven't actually. Normally, I check. I haven't actually checked for a while. But
so I just like to clarify something. I'm in my car. This is my car. It's the Volvo.
We noticed. Hence why the audio is the
audio's dodgy as well. I might get a radio call from work. I just while we were off there, I got a radio call for a comb. That's how exciting my life is. But everyone knows I'm away hiding in my car on business meetings. So this is a business meeting. Doesn't matter that it's been sent out to everyone, but yeah, this is a business meeting. It's slow.
Fine. No, nobody will know.
So yeah, sorry if I suddenly go or have to pause to answer my radio.
It's fine. It's only the live stream audience of currently one, which is me, that's going to be dealing with that.
I'm not even on it. Yeah, I don't trust. I'm literally streaming off my phone as well, so I'm not even going to risk being on there.
I'm sure that'll pick up eventually, but no, we very, very. It's only the live stream audience that will notice that because I'll cut it all out in post. So
there you go. So I'm in the Volvo. So I'm in work. I'm in Rathkeale. Google Rathkeale. It's an interesting place.
Okay. Well, if you want to know anything about Turn 1 in the potential South African Grand Prix when it comes back, Google Crowthorne, because that's the name of Turn 1 in South African Grand Prix, which is also where I live. So,
no, Rathkeale's interesting for its traveller community.
I had an interesting experience with some travellers the other night. I'll just tell this story before we start. Me and the wife and a couple of friends went on a double date.
Oh yeah, you've got a wife.
Which is fun.
I do have
a wife. So we went on a double date with one of her best friends and her new boyfriend, and that was all fun. And we were in TGI Fridays, and there was this group of how shall I say. I'm just going to say travellers on the table just down from us, and they were making lots of noise. They were ordering loads and loads of stuff, and then at one point the waitress comes over and is talking to them for quite a while, and then she goes away, and then they start arguing about something, and then they just leg it.
Of course they do.
And basically, they were trying to claim that, because I was talking to one of the managers afterwards, they were trying to claim that they found some plastic in their food, but the CCTV clearly shows them burning plastic with a lighter under the table and then putting it inside the food. And then when they refused to give them a refund, they just walked out. They chased after them and they said, "Look, we've got you on CCTV. We've got your details and everything. We're going to report it to the police." And they're saying, "That's against my civil rights. You can't film without permission. It's like you're on a commercial property. We can do what we want," and all this stuff. And then while all this was going on, the table behind us walked out as well.
Got the same idea.
Yeah. And then the character was like, "Oh, please make sure you pay." We're like, "Yeah, don't worry.
Where
we're going to pay."
this?
TGI Fridays in Bracknell.
Jesus Christ.
And we talked to the waitress and she was just like, "Oh yeah." I said, "Does this happen a lot? Because that's twice in one night." She's like, "No, this never happens." But yeah, it's happened twice in one night. So they're like, "Yeah, please pay." And then when we left, like, "Thank you very much for paying."
Did you leave a tip?
Yeah, 10%, usual thing. But yeah.
Did you split the bill?
Emily's Northern. She doesn't like leaving tips. Northern's don't.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
But yeah, no, we did because we were with someone, one of her friends who was actually a waitress. So she's just like, "Yep, minimum 10%." No, so that's fair enough. That's fine.
I know who that friend is now. I've worked it out. So did you actually watch the race this weekend?
I did. I watched it earlier than I thought I would.
Oh, really?
So
the race, you didn't watch it live?
No, I was never watching it live because I was doing a show. But the race started at 6 p.m. UK time, I think it was.
Yeah.
And I was watching it by 6:45. So I was watching the race while you were watching the race, but I was just a bit behind because
Later.
I'd finished watching the race, sorted everything out, left my parents, came up to bed, and was in bed waiting before the Grid Talk show started. So I actually went listened to the Grid Talk show, or some of it anyway. I got bored after about 5 minutes, but no, I needed to get to bed. I was tired. It was a long weekend. But yeah, no. So I did get it, and I watched the whole thing. I fast forwarded through some of the safety car because I could. But only a couple of minutes. Yeah,
lucky you. Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
and although I actually weirdly, out of all the races this weekend, I preferred the F2 sprint because of all the crashes, and the fact it was quite a good race actually, and even F2 was better than the F1. As a races.
I'm just shocked that you watched the F2 personally.
Yeah, I'm shocked too. I don't know how I ended up watching both of them. I think I just happened. Someone probably mentioned something on Grid Talk. Oh yeah, so I happened to watch the F2 sprint just by accident of turning on the TV, and then the feature race I happened to turn on because Tom Downey, who's been on here, said, false start or something. And I was like, what happened there?
Yeah.
And then just turned it on.
I was in the theatre at that point.
Aborted start. That's it.
When he said that message, shout out to Tom Downey from Everything F1 podcast. But when he said that message, I saw it on my phone, and I was in a theatre that just doesn't have a lot of signal, but we had about a 10-minute hiatus at that point, so I quickly ran outside and started streaming it on my phone and watched the first 2 laps on my phone.
It was pretty much nothing in the end. I don't know why it was aborted start. I couldn't work it out.
Yeah, I couldn't figure it out either. But so I watched the first, and then I watched the rest of it when I got in the next morning.
Talking about aborted starts then, Mick Schumacher had his own aborted start, and so did Tsunoda, and obviously Vettel. It's just like, wow, like three of the official drivers of the 20 drivers.
Yeah, so there was only 16 of the expected 20 drivers who are in Saudi Arabia that were expected to be there a couple of weeks ago.
Oh yeah,
obviously with Mazepin as well. That's Mazepin going for Magnussen. So I've started watching Drive to Survive as well.
Oh, have you?
Yeah, finally. Just haven't had time before, but so I'm
watching. Do you know what? It's quite funny. Laura. We watched all of it. Laura turned around to me the other day and went, "Do you know what? I didn't overly enjoy Drive to Survive just because I know what's going on in F1 now."
Yeah.
She's actually watching every race.
It's probably my least favourite season so far. I'm only up to episode 4. We've seen 4 episodes, but
yeah, the Haas episode's quite good fun.
Yeah, but even that was a little bit of a letdown because everyone's talking about, episode 4 is so good, and I watched it, and it's okay. It's nice to see people bad-mouthing Mazepin, but apart from that, and even that, I know that like a lot of what they were saying was kind of misconstrued. Yeah,
because they're saying that the car swap, which is what we talked about last week. Actually I didn't realise that they had different. They actually did have different cars.
Yeah, but they were completely making out that it wasn't, but it was well documented that it was, and it was just flat out lying on it, which is just a bit annoying. And there's lots of stuff in there that was annoying, but it wasn't too bad, to be honest. I was expecting a lot worse than what I saw, so it's okay. I enjoy it. It's F1 content. I love F1 content, so I'll always watch it.
Like I'd rather watch that than Love Island.
100%.
And I love Love Island.
Oh, I know.
But do you know what I mean? Like it's grand. It's a tool for F1 to get and Liberty Media to get people into F1, and it works magically. I don't know how much. I don't know how much that horse can be flogged. But we'll see.
Christian Horner is so annoying in this season, though.
Oh yeah. Do you know what? Laura picked out something hilarious. Have you seen Joey Halliwell on a horse yet?
Yeah.
Right. Is this the laugh? This is the laugh.
Yeah. Emily said the same thing.
Where's the laugh from?
It's the start of Wannabe.
It's the exact same laugh at the start of Wannabe. So much so, I think they actually they took the sound from Wannabe because it is too alike.
However,
it is freakily so. However, I can't laugh in the same way.
It is just Jerry Halliwell's laugh, though. It might just be that's
Yeah,
her
but
laugh.
hang on. Yeah, it's the exact same length and tone. Someone
probably-
geeky needs to link those two together and see if
They-
it is the same.
They probably, she probably did the laugh, and then one of the editors probably thought, "Oh, that sounds like the wannabe laugh," and so, we'll make sure we put that in there, and it's probably in a completely different place. But
No, yeah. Look, you're the geeky sound man. Take the sound waves from the beginning of the song and from that bit, and work out they're the same sound wave and the same length.
well, of course they're
You'll
going
be
to
able to
look.
work it out.
The sound waves are going to look the same because they sound the same.
They're
So
not.
they're going to look the
No
same.
one laughs to the exact same millisecond. There's a no.
We'll see.
Someone
I'll
has
find
taken
out.
that sound off.
I'll do
I'm
some
sure.
googling. Anyway,
Someone's
should we talk about the race for the weekend then? I'll do
Yes.
me. I'll do
Go
my
on,
2-minute challenge. Shall
Yes, go on.
I? Okay.
It's the 2-minute challenge.
An 18-car grid set off for the second race at the Jeddah Corniche circuit, with the first-time pole sitter Sergio Perez maintaining the lead in the early stages. Verstappen got the jump over Sainz for third, while Gasly and Magnussen tussled for ninth. Norris took a dive around the outside of Gasly with an amazing overtake to claim a points position, and Hamilton was going along nicely on the hard tyres. The cars definitely appeared to be able to follow and stay close, and the Alpines battled lap after lap, losing themselves both time to Bottas behind. But crazily, they were not told to hold station. Ocon tried to kill Alonso, a la Schumacher on Barrichello, until Alonso forced his way past. Then, predictably, Ocon fell into the clutches of the pack behind. Leclerc was told to box to overtake, so Red Bull pulled Perez in to protect from the undercut. Predictably, Latifi did Latifi things at the perfect time, once again causing a safety car by crashing into the barriers. This allowed Leclerc, Verstappen and Sainz to all jump Perez through 3 out of 3. To all jump Perez through, though Sainz did need an instruction from the stewards to get past Perez, as Perez passed him illegally on the pit exit. Russell passed K-Mag at the restart, with the hard runners forced to stay out, as a one-stop was clearly the way to go, and 30 laps on mediums was simply impossible. Hamilton passed Magnussen to sit just behind Russell, and impressively was doing the same lap times as George, despite having 16-lap older tyres. Q lap 37. Bottas, Ricciardo, Alonso all conked out, causing a virtual safety car. Perfect timing for the hard runners, had Ricciardo and Alonso not stopped just in front of the pit lane entrance, causing its closure. Hamilton was unable to decide, decided too late to stop and had to stop much later than expected, and that dropped him out of the points. Verstappen and Leclerc resumed the fight from Bahrain, and lap after lap they jostled for position at the final turn, trying to avoid the other getting the DRS. They passed and repassed a few times until Verstappen finally made the pass to stick with 5 laps to go. Leclerc was not to be defeated easily though, and stayed close to Verstappen for the remaining laps, and was gearing up for a definitive overtake with 1 lap to go, but was denied double wave yellows due to a turn 1 crash between Albon and Stroll colliding, leaving just 12 finishers.
Oh, I didn't even realise you didn't even realise you crashed in that final one.
Albon and Stroll. Yeah, they crashed. That was 2 laps from the end.
I did wonder how that ended. I was like, I have no idea where they were. Like, I was doing my scores, and I was like, where the fuck did they end up? And then I looked at them, and I was like, really? I don't remember them being in there.
Yeah, no,
I don't remember them being that far back. But...
we may as well start on this because I've got an opinion on it. Albon was given a penalty for it, but it was. I don't think there was anything wrong with it at all, and we see this a lot from Stroll. So Albon is almost fully alongside him.
Oh, this is Albon not knowing how wide his car is again.
No, not at all.
Sorry.
Not at
Yes,
all.
it
I
is.
don't no, because he's almost fully alongside him,
I agree.
And then he's braking for the corner. He's earned the right to be there. Stroll just blindly turns in because Lance Stroll, for some reason, never looks in his mirrors. And as he turns in, Albon then locks up and understeers because he's trying to avoid Stroll turning into him. And then the stewards adjudged him to be out of control and therefore caused the accident. It's like, but you can clearly see that Stroll is turning in way before Albon locks up. And Albon locks up because he's reacting to Stroll turning in on him.
Yeah,
and that's him trying to avoid.
No, I saw. I remember this crash now because I said it to Laura. I said, "What the, Albon doing Albon things." But actually, you're dead right. It was Stroll. Albon doing Albon things because I always think Albon doesn't know the width of his car,
and he's got previous as well.
Yeah, it doesn't help, but yeah, it definitely is a Stroll. Yeah, it was Stroll's fault, but again, Stroll's got previous, so I'm not surprised. That happened. I do remember it. I don't know, like for some reason that sort of just went out of my brain. That was the final lap. That was yellows in sector 1, wasn't it? On the final lap.
Yeah, and
That was
that's
it.
effectively what cost.
Ruined
Well,
Leclerc.
it certainly cost Leclerc a chance to take the lead back, which was disappointing. But hey ho. So I mean, so that's my take on the Stroll situation, because I think genuinely that was more, he was more to blame than Albon was. So it's disappointing that the stewards had given the penalty there, but it's still early days. Was it? I can't remember if it was Niles Wisich or the other one. Eduardo Freitas this week. I know it's been the same.
I don't know who the fuck it is. Whoever it was definitely not an F2, because they screwed that up. Do you see that one?
No, they were the same one for the whole race weekend.
All right. So yeah, FIA screwed up that F2 when they were when they went. There was like, everyone please drive through the pit lane. Oh no, the pit lane's closed. The pit lane's closed. And I agree, they probably should have been shouting at him, and he should have been taking heed of the signs and not listening to his team. But it is still a bit unfair that they did originally say everyone go through the pit.
I do have issues with the race direction in F2, but not for the reason that you do.
Okay.
My issue with the race direction was the fact they were sending cars around the track when there were tractors there.
Oh yeah.
Like and like cranes fully on the track. It's like, no, you can't do that. Did you not watch the 2014 Suzuka Grand Prix when Gilles Bianchi lost his life?
But that was the same with F1, wasn't it? You know, when they had men on the track pushing the cars around, and they were still going around under virtual safety car.
Yeah, it's just a bit.
And only virtual safety car, not a full safety car. And I wonder if that was because it was near the end type thing, you know, lap 37 or whatever it was, when they were pushing everyone there.
What you alluded to about the pit lane thing, I have less of an issue with that. They've called for the VSC for safety reasons, because you've got to call for it quickly to protect the field, and then they've done that. And then on further examination, they realised that it's too close to the pit lane, so they need to close the pit lane. So then they do that. They communicate that the pit lane's being closed. There's big fuck off X's there to say, do not enter the pit lane. Apparently the team contacted race control to say, are we still going through the pit lane? And then race control come back and said yes. But this is obviously the 2 minutes caller.
He said, she said, yeah
exactly. But at the end of the day, if someone says to you, go through that red light, it's a red light at the end of the day. You don't go through the red light. It's there for safety reasons, and that trumps everything. The fact that it's got a massive X there, things might have changed. They might say, we're going to send them through the pit lane. Yeah, that's fine. And then there may have been something else happened. There may have been like a marshal's fallen over on the track and broken their ankle or something. So you can't just send cars down there when the pit lane's closed. So it was there. Every other car on the track saw the signs except for the leader. So I have no issue with that one. So to anyone, I know people have probably tuned in for Formula 1, but for Formula 2,
for once I watched the Formula 2, and it was worth watching, and probably was more interesting than Formula 1, so that's why I'm sort of go back to it. Let's get back to Formula 1 then.
It's definitely worth talking about, though, because it's a safety issue which also does affect Formula 1. So I think very much jury's still out on this new race direction program, but I want to give it time. You know, we gave Massey 2 years and then we sacked him. We gave him 3 years and then we sacked him. So
there doesn't seem to be the sweeping changes which we're expecting. But again, these guys are now playing with new cars and new everything.
Yeah, you got to give it a year.
Yeah, they're not just dealing with the same car, the same set of regulations. They've got whole new regulations, and the cars are acting differently, and things are changing. And it is hard to work out the safety of things when there's new safety procedures in place. So I completely understand. Let's see what happens, as long as no one touches wood, injures themselves from it, proving once more that, Haas must have the most durable chassis. I don't know if that's a set part or something, but they must have the most durable chassis going, or monocoque at least, because every time those cars smash up, their drivers just walk away.
Yeah, well, it's the survival cell. It's not so much a standard part, but there are rigorous crash tests that they have to get through. But interesting though, the reason Schumacher didn't take part in the race wasn't due to concussion. It was just they could have put the car back together, but they didn't want to rush it through, and then for him to have another crash, and then all of a sudden they're out of spares for Australia, because they've got to get the car back and then get the spares to Australia. So it was more due to the fact that they didn't.
And they've only got 6 parts, and whether it was worth doing Bahrain, doing Abu Dhabi, which is a risky track anyway. Let's be honest.
Saudi Arabia,
Saudi Arabia, sorry, which is a risky track anyway. Because of previous last year, so you wouldn't want to be doing that anyway.
Yeah, Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I'm fine. I'm fine with that decision as well. It's their decision. They've entered two cars into the situation. Schumacher. I mean, he probably had a chance of getting some points. He probably would be disappointed not to take part in the race. But I can see because they probably want to take that thing back and do all stress tests on it and X-rays and all kinds of stuff. Make sure there's no hairline cracks anywhere, and they're just putting the car at further risk if they put it back out on track again. So they didn't. It's not like they had a spare chassis, because you can't carry spare chassis. You have to ship them out, and that was never going to get done in time. So.
And what do you think about the I can't see wants to call them Renault Alpine, the pink Mercedes. Mm-hmm. What do you think about that?
Well, firstly, we shouldn't call it a pink Mercedes, because the pink Mercedes was Racing Point mimicking the Mercedes car. So it's not a pink Mercedes. I heard somebody, I want to credit it, but I can't remember who said it. I was listening to a podcast this morning, and I can't remember who said it, but they said Pink Panthers, or what was it? Rolling Marshmallows. So I think I'm going to refer to them as the Rolling
Marshmallows is a good one.
So the Rolling Marshmallows of the Alpines. So Alonso was clearly the quicker driver. They should have let him through. It seems like apparently they've got a policy where they're going to allow the drivers to race until 20 laps from the end.
Okay.
Which is the wrong way round. You want to maximise your race until the start of the final stint, and then let them race to the flag.
Because but the problem with that is you're risking a lot more. You know, if you're placing your bets, bearing in mind, let's play this game in betting of cashing out. Mm-hmm. The nearer you get to the finish, the higher your cash out is going to be.
Yes,
but that's what they're doing. That's what they're. The more advertising time they get, remembering that, of being racing, and you've got to think of that there must be deals with the advertisers of, okay, we'll make sure we get 10% of the, in theory, 10% of the race should be in theory Alpine, but obviously with this race team, I think there is unofficial deals and pushing, and the more time they get on screen, the better their advertising, the better the budget they have.
I would just like to say first. Sorry, go on. Yeah. So firstly, just to caveat something now, I loved it. It was great. It was great to watch. It was great television. No problem with it happening. But I'm just saying, from the perspective of the team, I think it was a stupid thing to do. And I think it still is, because this policy there of doing that, if it is for commercial reasons, then it's stupid, because the amount of money they're going to be losing in prize money is just crazy. Because Alonso was a quicker car. What should have happened was they should have just let him through, or told him to hold station. When they're constantly battling each other, it pulled them back into the clutches of Magnussen, of Bottas, of all the cars behind them that they were clearly quicker than. And then what happened? As soon as Ocon was told to hold station, he'd obviously overheated his tyres. He'd just done a lunge on Alonso and gone off track, lost them both loads of time, and he's then passed by Bottas, and he just falls back in. I mean, Bottas ended up retiring anyway, so
which was such a shame. Sorry, yawning here. Which was such a shame, because Bottas was on fire again. Yeah. I think he's got that car sorted. In
the end, it was a P6. Which was probably the most they could have hoped for, because with Hamilton behind them, it was unlikely Hamilton was going to come up. A bit more luck than Hamilton may well have been with them, but that didn't happen. So P6 was likely to be the best they could have got anyway, but they really risked it. And obviously, I don't know if that battle played into Fernando Alonso's car overheating. It's possible. If he's just ahead of Ocon, they're holding station, Ocon sitting in Fernando Alonso's DRS, saving fuel, whatever, and then Alonso in clean air, not fighting, that may have stopped his car overheating, which caused his eventual retirement. So Alpine, we're not going to know for sure, but Alpine could have potentially cost their lead car, who was on for a 6th place, a retirement there. And that was, he may even have had a go at Russell at the restart if Alonso was still there.
Talking about screw ups, the Haas team screwed up Kevin Magnussen with the tyres thing by keeping him out.
Well, there was no choice.
There was a choice, wasn't there?
Well,
He had a spare.
what was it?
He has a spare set of hards for starters.
Yeah, but then he'd have to make a second stop anyway, because you have to fit 2 types of tyre during the race. They had no
Okay.
choice. It was a one-stop strategy. They were on hard tyres. Yeah, he could have come in for fresh set of hards and then made another stop later on. But what's the point? It's a one-stop strategy. You're just then costing yourself time. It was the only thing they could have done. If it was a 2-stop race, then yeah, absolutely. Switch on to softs, do a short middle stint, and then stick some mediums on to finish the race with.
Yeah.
But it wasn't really a 2-stop race. It was definitely a one-stop race, sorry. So they didn't really have a choice. It was Magnussen, it was Hamilton, and somebody else started on hards. I can't recall who at the moment. But I think there were 3 cars started on the hards, and all 3 of them, they couldn't come in on the
Gasly?
safety car.
Was it Gasly?
Might have been Gasly. Maybe not. I can't remember now off the top of my head. Yeah, it's just, it's annoying, but they couldn't. And then, Hamilton could have done the entire race on those hards because he was still keeping up with Russell, still doing as quick a lap times as Russell on those tyres with 9 laps to go.
Am I the only person that doesn't think Russell's all that?
Well, we're 2 races in. It's a bit early to say for sure, but he's certainly. Hamilton was quicker than them in all the sessions up until qualifying, but he's still there. It's not like he's way off Hamilton. So, but one thing I do think we have to look at is just how bad Nicholas Latifi has been so far this season, and he's up against, the gap between Albon and Latifi is insane at the moment. And you think about that's the gap that Russell had to Latifi.
Yeah, that's my worry. That's almost my worry. And it's always this thing of how good is George versus how shit is Latifi.
Yeah, and that's the question. That's what's going to come this year. If Russell is comprehensively destroyed by Hamilton this year and Albon destroys Latifi, then I think we've got the answer to the question there. That all 3 of those youngsters all came in, Albon, Norris, Russell, they're all talented. They're all great drivers. Russell's the Formula 2 champion, as anyone who's ever listened to our title sequence will know.
Yeah.
So... And that was a dominant year. It was it was Norris and Albon fighting for second, and Russell was far and away the leader. Yeah, but he was also with the ART team, which were at that stage. It was the first year of the brand new Formula 2 chassis, and ART hit the ground running with that. They had the best cars that year, so he did it. Whereas Norris was in Carlin, and excuse me. And Albon was with, I can't remember. It's the light blue and black one.
I don't know because he drove a Red Bull car.
It was the French team, I think.
Prima.
No, it wasn't. He wasn't in Red Bull. It was.
Was he not in a Red Bull car?
No. He'd been dropped by the program by that point.
Ironic.
Yeah, because they pulled him back in.
Yeah.
So. My point was that I don't think there was a lot between them, and I still don't think there's a lot between them. So it would just be interesting to see.
I don't think he's the golden boy that I thought he might be.
No, I never thought he was. I always thought he was. He's talented. He's a future race winner. He's a potential world champion. But
that's being in the right place in the right car, not because of his talent, in my opinion.
Well, I think he has the potential to be a top line driver.
Oh, I'm not denying that, but then you look at.
Let's be honest. Pastor Maldonado won a race.
Yeah,
and that's because he was in the right place at the right time. Lance Stroll could have won the Turkish Grand Prix if the rain had held out.
Ocon's won a race.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, a race where he started like 14th, and Bottas just became Moses and cleared the oceans for him. So, and then the most comfortable place a race driver will ever be is leading a race, because all they're doing is just managing pace to the end, and they're not having to battle.
I do think, and we said this before, that Leclerc is a future champion as well.
Yeah,
and I still think that sits quite nicely at the moment. They've got the right car, but I like his race style. Yeah. I think he's a clean racer. He's aggressive, but he's a clean racer.
Yeah, I think he's
grown up a little bit compared to the old days.
Yeah, he's still got the potential for mistakes.
Oh, of course he has.
But I think
young and stupid.
Yeah, he's making. I think before he was overdriving, trying to make up for the deficiencies of the car. Now the car is good. He knows he doesn't need to do that, and he's just excelling like he did in 2019 in his first year in Ferrari. Yeah. So yeah, I think he started the season really well. He's driving well. I think he's driving better than Verstappen at the moment, but Verstappen's got the one win. But you think about it, without Latifi crashing and Perez's engine holding out for one more lap, Perez has got a win and a third place, and is the lead Red Bull driver.
Yeah.
Because he's got a win and a third place, and Verstappen's got a probably what would have been a third place and a DNF.
Yeah.
He may have got second. It may have been a Red Bull 1-2 potentially, but I mean Perez, I think he started off really well. I'm quite impressed with his performance, considering I picked him to first driver to lose his seat.
Well. Yeah, and pole as well. I didn't mark him down that high because I didn't think much of it. He led and then he did Perez things and had Becquerel tired.
For me, I don't think he made a mistake. I thought he did a great race. He did absolutely nothing wrong. You're alluding to your driver ratings, I'm assuming, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, so what did you rate him as? I've got your markings
here. I think
it
was C.
C, yeah. Well, I mean, I'm quite harsh with my ratings, but I've put him as a B. Yeah, you've got him as a C.
Weirdly, even though
and your comment is poor show. I can't see why it's poor show. I'd like you to elaborate on that.
Because okay, the thing is, he did an amazing qualifying, and then I felt he didn't hold that qualifying even before he finished. Do you know what I mean?
He led every lap of the race until the safety car. What more could he have done?
I don't know. It just was a bit of and it was a mess with that safety car as well.
For me, like he made
to say, just say that it was fine up until the safety car. But if you can't, then that's fine. Hamilton did that for years of just sitting at the front. That doesn't mean he's a good driver. That doesn't mean anything. That just means you're a good qualifier and you can sit at the front. Let's just be honest. He didn't. And when the safety car did happen, he didn't fucking play the game, like.
Well, so there wasn't a lot he could do. So he was called in. There was the whole box opposite thing with Perez where they played a dummy. Played a dummy. It was a box to overtake. So what that means is come in this lap to undercut Perez. But if he goes in, you stay out and you try and overcut him and we extend. Red Bull heard that message, which was put out there on purpose to try and dupe them into making the stop. But if they didn't, they would have made the stop anyway. So they do that, and then Latifi crashes. Had Latifi not crashed, then Perez would have kept the lead.
Yeah,
he didn't lose the lead due to any of his issues, and then
didn't gain it back. I just felt he should.
When Sainz came out the pits, he was pretty much level with Perez. Perez then dived ahead of him on track, but Sainz was already at the safety car line. You're racing. You see someone coming out the pits, you race them, even if
don't
it's
talk about the safety car line and Ferraris. Because little Max Verstappen's going to have a little hissy fit.
Oh, that's the pit lane entry line. That was. But,
oh my god! Just stop! You whinging arsehole.
But
he's crossing the line. Sorry. Anyway, we'll go back onto that in a minute. Go on.
Yeah, but just to finish up on Perez, it's just that he was very unlucky to not come out in third place. He was very unlucky to lose the lead. So he's back and forth. There's only one place you can really overtake on this track, and then he's just kind of stuck there behind Sainz there. Okay, the reason I've graded him down from an A or I've given him a B. It's a 7 out of 10. I don't think there's any argument to give him an 8, which is what I gave Verstappen. But I've given him the same score.
I can't believe you gave. I don't know your scores because I only saw mine. I did mine before you for once.
Yeah.
I don't quite understand why you gave Verstappen 8. The whinging.
Well, because
asshole.
He did have some luck, but he executed the strategy brilliantly. It was a great overtake.
He had luck. He very much at the end, he should have got overtaken. Had the yellow flag not screwed over Leclerc.
Well, it would have been a chance to overtake.
It was clean fighting. I'll give you that. It was clean fighting. But like any opportunity to screw, and I'm sure Leclerc has the same thing, and I'm sure this is being said on radio, and we're just not picking up Leclerc because of the way it's being said. But the way that it's coming across is that Verstappen's just whinging constantly. He's crossing the line. If there was an issue, let the race control deal with it. Like that's what they're there for.
The team did say to him, "Look, you just focus on you, and we'll do our job."
I know.
So I get that.
I know, but it's just like
I think he's still
whinging.
He's still in last year mode where he's got to try and maximise every opportunity and And that's just the way he's gonna go racing.
It's gonna backfire. And then it was interesting because on the radio he then turned around and said, "That's how it wasn't. This just proves it wasn't. It's not me. It's him being Hamilton." Look how I can do clean racing with Leclerc, and it's sort of true. I believe that, but I think the reason for that is Leclerc's very aware of how much of an a-hole he is, as usual, doing his usual sliding up the side of the once the safety car's in. And I know he's going to maximize his opportunities, but he's just dangerous at that point sometimes, I feel. And I think they might need to look at the rule change on that they have to be in front of the car's nose.
I think it
has to be behind the car.
At that point, the safety car's gone in, the track's clear, it's safe to do so. So,
but it's not. Hang on, it's not. And I'll tell you why. Because the rule is, if I remember correctly, that if the safety car goes in, that means that the car in front is the safety car. Yeah. And the reason that car in front cannot just speed off straight away as soon as the safety car pulls away is so that the safety car has time to get in. Correct?
Yeah, he's in the pits.
But, hang on. But no. So the safety car doesn't just peel into the pits. And then they say safety car in this time, and then the safety car turns off its lights and speeds off a good 2 or 3 corners, or whatever it is, before the race officially starts. Yes, am I right?
Yeah, I'll let you get to your point. But
my point is that then that car becomes a safety car. The first lead car becomes a safety car, and there is still danger on track, being that of the safety car itself at that point. Because if that safety car does not get into the pits, that means there's an instant up ahead, and that first car becomes the safety car, correct? So there is a safety issue, and that if Max is trying to rile up the Clerk, and it is just always Max, let's be honest, but I'm sure there's other ones, because we hardly ever see it, of coming right up nose to nose, that causes the problem.
So, sorry, just looking at the weather outside, we got heavy sleet and hail.
I'm lovely and sunny out here.
Yeah, no, we got a bit of everything. It's like lovely and sunny and hail all at the same time.
Yes.
So basically, yeah, you're right in some ways in that the safety car lights go off. It's not the safety car then speeding up. It's once the safety car enters the pit lane, then the first driver then becomes the safety car. The first car becomes the safety car.
Yeah,
the safety car is still the safety car until it peels off the track. It just lets them know that it's now it's the last lap before it goes in. So at that point, that's when the lead car would generally start to back the pack up. That's that driver's choice. That's the lead driver's choice to do that. And then once the safety car has entered the pit lane, that's when the lead driver then becomes a safety car. But you're not allowed to overtake before the safety car. That's fine. I don't really have an issue with what he does there at all, because I don't think it is a safety concern, because the track is clear. They're going slowly for a reason. He's not going to drop the hammer until the safety car is in the pit lane and out of the way. I did see one occasion once where somebody completely got it wrong. They backed the pack off and then went early. I think it was in F2. They backed the pack up, went early, drove off, and then they caught the safety car up and had to slam on the brakes before the safety car peeled off.
Oh.
Ended up losing the lead. But yeah, so I don't see it as a massive.
Why do they not just keep the safety car up until the pit entrance and hold the safety car up to the pit entrance and let them dive in there and then let them just go off?
It's just to create that bit of drama. Wrong? It's just to create a bit of drama, really, isn't it? And that's when
I don't think it is. I just think it's stupid. Anyway, there we go.
Well, you have to stay within 10 car lengths of the safety car until you get to that point where they start to back the pack up. And then it's just a case of you can go whatever pace that you decide to for your strategy, but you're not allowed to aggressively accelerate and decelerate. You have to stay a consistent speed or reasonably consistent speed. You're not allowed to just speed up and slam on the brakes.
But Max does. He slams on the brake. He speeds up to the alongside him, slams on the brakes, speeds up to
the lead car I'm talking about here. But
but that's Verstappen then does.
If he's doing that, then yes. But I don't think he's doing that.
That's what he's doing.
It's not aggressively speeding up. It's not aggressively speeding up and slowing down.
Well, that's what it looks like. But I do want to make a caveat. It's like the videos of parachutists. Do you know what I mean? Where it looks like the parachutist suddenly flies up when actually it's the camera still going on.
Yeah.
You know, so there is that sort of, it's that movement.
It's not. They're jostling for position. They're jockeying for position, trying to be as close as he can, ready for the restart. But then, Verstappen absolutely mugged him in Bahrain when he tried to do that.
Yeah.
There was no opportunity for Hamilton to do that in Abu Dhabi, which I know was, the tyre life was just so bad that there's just no way that was going to happen. But
there we go.
But yes, it's Ruby's in the chat, by the way. She's asked, didn't that happen in Azerbaijan the first time we had it? I'm assuming it's the whole safety car thing. It may have been F2.
Really?
I seem to remember it being quite a while ago. So, but if you want to see my driver,
hi Rubes.
Carl, if you want to see my driver rating, I did tweet it out. So go to @TomHorrocksF1 and search my Twitter, and you'll see my driver ratings on there. Same for anyone else. I recommend you do that as well. Tweet out your driver ratings.
Well, you can get into arguments with people. Yeah. Yes. Well, I've already been. Hang on. Let's talk about this argument on Twitter. Right. Come on then. The upside down pig, the dead pig. You think it's going to be a good race? The dead
Las
pig.
Vegas.
The dead pig. Let's call it what it is. It's a dead pig. That's exactly what it's going to be. It looks like a dead pig. It looks like it's on its arse. And no, what the heck? Why are they? Right. I'm so annoyed, mostly because I'm English in Ireland, but mostly because I'm European. You're not. And I'm going to get screwed over by Europe because this race is at night. And I was driving at 6 o'clock in the morning, messaging you about this because this is what me and Tom work very early mornings. And I was messaging Tom about this going, it's fucking 6 o'clock now over in England. It's 10 p.m. in America. If they even do an 8 p.m. race, which I reckon they probably will do, that's at 3 4. Huh?
It's going to be 10 p.m. Or they reckon it's going to be a 10 p.m. start.
What's 10 p.m. start?
Yeah. So 6 a.m.
Okay, so that's not too bad then. I presume they weren't started at 8 a.m. being 8 p.m. being because they put it into winter. So I presumed that they might, because they'll have a longer darkness. I know Las Vegas is slightly south there and their darkness isn't as long, but I presumed that they would have a longer darkness.
They expect it to be a 10 p.m. start. It's not
That's
been confirmed
going to be a killer for the crew.
10 p.m. Saturday night.
That's going to be a killer for them.
Well, they'll just
hang on.
If
that's a 10 p.m. If that's a 10 p.m. Saturday night,
race will be done by midnight.
That means, hang on, that means it's a Friday for them. They're going to be, practice will be, quality will be Friday night, which means they'll be doing practice on Wednesday night.
Thursday night.
Wednesday night. Because normally they have practice on Thursday, don't they?
No.
Oh, Friday.
It'll be Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Practice Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Yeah.
So you're right. You're right, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
It's only Monaco, but not anymore. They've even axed that from Monaco now as well.
Yeah. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Yeah.
So they'll be doing practice Thursday, our Friday morning.
Yeah.
I just think it's a stupid idea.
I've got no problem with it, and Sean tweeted about it because Sean's been saying, he said to us when Sean Kelly, this is Virtual Statman, he said when we were on when he did it on the Statman quiz and also on our show, he's been a believer for a long time that there should be 3 Grand Prix in the US anyway. Yeah. And he sent out a tweet earlier because I primed this because I knew you'd mentioned this. So he was arguing with somebody who said there are more viewers in Germany than there are in the US. Tell me why the US needs a 3rd race before Germany get one. And his response is, if I live in Germany, I have Spa 22 miles from the border, Zandvoort 100 miles from the border, Red Bull Ring 160 miles, Monza 230 miles, Hungaroring 333 miles, Imola 350 miles, Monaco 400, Silverstone 420, Paul Ricard 466, Barcelona 644.
Paul Ricard's going.
Vegas to Austin is 1,306 miles alone. So just the pure size of America, of the United States, is the reason why they get 3 races.
The nearest one's probably Mexico or Canada. Canada will be the nearest one, surely.
So yeah, basically in America, you've got Montreal, you've got Texas, and then you've got also Sao Paulo and Mexico.
Montreal's in Canada. In
so you've got
America, in
those
the Americas.
in the American
Sorry.
continent,
Yeah.
in the North and South American continent.
Yeah.
So that's 4. So
Two
now
continents. That covers two continents. But we
yeah.
won't worry
So now
about
that's
that.
going to be 6. So that's 2, as I said, North and South. So that's 2. That's 6 races across 2 continents, and then you've got size-wise. If you split it into the 3 major sections of the world for the time zones, you've got like the Asia Oceania section, you've got the European section, and then the American.
Do you know
section.
what? I'm not denying Las Vegas. I just think the track doesn't look that great, and they're doing it for spectacles. There's a 2K drag down the back straight, which is just like, that's going to be really boring. Weirdly, that's going to be boring because everyone will just slam on the corner, and it'll look pretty, but no one really cares about looking pretty when all you can see, realistically, all you're going to see on an F1, apart from the initial pictures, are bloody walls either side of you. You know, a lot of the time when we're in Monaco or when we're in Abu Dhabi, or when we're in, I'm trying to think of the street races, Singapore even, you know, you don't really see the city. You get occasional glimpses.
Yeah, it'd just be the pan up shots, wouldn't it? And I said, I have no problem.
Look at behind you. Look behind you. It's the exact, you know, you don't get to see Australia or Sydney. You just see fucking walls. And at night,
it's only when it pans out,
bad.
as you say.
Yeah.
But it's I've got no problem with US having a 3rd race.
No, do I. I just think it's in the wrong place. It's in the wrong. I think it's a stupid race. I think it's a stupid track. I think it's gimmick central. Bad enough having Miami, like as is. I just think there are better places to have it than Las Vegas, and better tracks that have got to be available than trying to. And the nightmare that's going to cause Las Vegas is just going to be insane.
Yeah, but I mean, basically F1 are actually promoting this themselves. They haven't got an external promoter to do this. This is something that Formula One have approached Las Vegas to do. So it's something that they are doing. It's not a case of that they are, you know, they're just charging.
I'm glad it's not the Caesar Palace ones, but there is money involved. Let's be honest, there is a load of money involved in this.
Yeah, but the money involved is going to be what Formula One can raise by speaking to local businesses and ticket sales and stuff. Whereas before, normally it's
local businesses being MGM and Caesar's Palace and etc.
Yeah. So normally it'd be, okay, you're going to pay us 20 million. Off you go, try and make a profit. Now this is going to be everything we take is profit, so we are going to charge this much for tickets. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. Blah 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 blah. But they've also.
I'm going to be intrigued how they're going to deal with the tickets and where the stadiums, like, you know, have you noticed where the start line is? They're obviously putting major it's right. It's if you're looking at the upside down pig, it's the back trotter is the start line, from what I can work out from the images and videos. So that's the sort of the back. It's sort of that's going to which makes the strip the back straight. And I just think
makes sense because you have to do a full pit and paddock complex, so it makes sense.
So that's got the space down there. That's what I'm thinking. It's not, in a weird way, it's not where I thought it would be because it's not the good big glam. They're not going to have the big glam views of it. You know, the back straight will be the big glam. Which is a bit of a weird one to have the back straight as the big glam. But, it's raining here now. The geography of it doesn't quite make sense to me. I don't quite understand why they've chosen the upside down pig.
I'm fine to give it a go and see how it goes, but there's only really one other.
I just worry that it's going to be another, like, Jeddah, and it's going to be Crash Central.
It probably will, but it
just feels like another fucking. Do you know what it is? It's another race in another fucking desert.
Yeah, well, give it a go. See
got
what
Americans.
Happens. Just give it a chance.
Okay, Tom, have you just sent over your sodding weather?
Yeah, I literally did.
Jesus Christ.
It's nice and sunny here now.
What's wrong with you?
Anyway, it's.
I think
give it a go. See what happens. It probably won't be very good, but you never know. It might do. It might, if it's a one-off, it might do good racing. I wouldn't mind if it alternated a little bit. I'd love to see Indianapolis get another crack at the F1 thing. It's a good circuit. It's still Grade 1 licensed. I think it's the only Grade 1 licensed circuit in America. People always say about like Sonoma and Laguna Seca and places like that. There's no way can you hold a Formula One race at Laguna Seca. It just wouldn't happen. Not without destroying the track and what is good about the track and places like that. And you just look at the way the tracks are laid out. Indy cars are great cars for safety. They are really heavily designed by, podcast guest, friend of the podcast, Tino Belli. Really, has done a really good...
Is this a Tino Belli track?
That's
Vegas, I wonder.
No, you're thinking of Carson Tilker, aren't you?
Yes, Carson Tilker.
No,
Sorry,
I was talking about Tino Belli.
Yeah.
He came on and talked about IndyCar safety. The safety of the IndyCars is really good, but it's the tracks that are the problem in America, and IndyCar is where they can't do it. I'm assuming you're now taking a work call.
Yeah, work call.
Yep, that's fine. I will just wait patiently and make a note of the time.
I might have to go in a minute. And should we wrap this up and I'll give that person a ring?
Yep,
Sorry.
sure.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's cool. We will.
That's a really important call.
Yep, no worries. Well, what we'll do is if we just...
But let's do predictions quickly.
Yeah, we'll just quickly do a prediction, and then I'll
let us know what
up.
you think on our Twitters, which are Tom Horrocks F1.
At Tom Horrocks F1.
And at Skycloth _.
And at _Skycloth, not Skycloth.
I have no idea. No idea what my handle is.
Yeah.
Not a fucking clue.
I'm sure it's _Skycloth.
Yes.
Right.
So
last time out on predictions, you said, let's see how we did. You said pole for Sainz, winner Russell, and double points for Haas.
I got completely wrong there.
Yeah, nothing even close to right.
No.
I said pole Verstappen, wrong. Win Sainz, wrong.
Correct. You're a hot
take. Boring race, no cray.
It wasn't as... Yeah.
Still not great. Okay, so Australia. What do you think for Australia then?
It's a new track. Let's be honest.
They've got some
newish
changes.
track, so it's going to be interesting. New cars. Let's do for pole Verstappen.
Okay.
Win Verstappen.
Okay.
Hedge my bets on it. And a hot take is what curse can I give someone?
Yeah. Lap 37 will retire 3 more cars again.
Yes. Yeah, no. One of the Ferraris will go out for engine issues.
Ferrari non-finish.
Yeah. Because I think then their sort of thing's going to... I just feel like they've had too good a run yet at the moment with the two.
Okay.
I'm
going to go bold. I'm going to go really bold.
Go on.
Pole. Hamilton. I think they're going to change something. I know they got a new floor coming. It's not going to be the silver bullet, but I've just got this feeling Hamilton's going to get pole. He's not going to win it though. No. Winner. I'm going to go Carlos Sainz. And hot take, multiple Red Bull power unit failures.
Oh.
Multiple Red Bull power failures.
Brackets again.
Yeah. Excellent. Right. Is there anything else we need to cover? Because I know you need to go, so I'll just wrap things up after you've gone.
Driver of the day.
Driver of the day, yes. What do you think for driver of the day? Hang on, let me just do the jingle.
Driver of the day.
There we go.
I mean, I'm going to go with Leclerc.
Who would I have on my driver ratings? It'd have to be Verstappen.
No.
Based on my driver ratings, it has to be Verstappen. I mean, I would say Norris had a strong performance. Alonso had a very strong performance as well, but was let down by the car. Hamilton did a strong performance, not worthy of driver of the day because he didn't really shine. Sainz, no. Sainz just he let Verstappen pass him on the opening lap and never really recovered from there.
Perez? How do you not?
Yeah, for me, Perez, I think. He did nothing wrong.
I don't agree with it, but...
I mean, no, do you know what? I know you're going to hate this, but I think it is Verstappen. Perez did nothing wrong, but Verstappen, apart from whinging, Verstappen did everything right, whereas Perez did nothing wrong, and that's the difference.
The only way I'm giving you Verstappen if I can have Dick of the Day as Verstappen.
You can have whatever you want
to
for Dick of the Day.
balance it out, he would be my Dick of the Day.
Okay. Right, so I'll go for Verstappen for driver of the day, and you're going to go for Verstappen for dick of the day.
Yeah.
All right, okay,
Who's
fine.
your dick?
Deal.
Who's
We'll
your
go with
dick?
that. Do you know? I don't know. Who? Stroll? No, I can't really say Stroll. He didn't really do a lot wrong. Do you know what? I'm going to go with the front. I'm going to go with the front jack man on Alfa Romeo.
I missed that.
Because Zhou comes in for a 5 second for a stop and then to do the
Oh,
5 second
yes,
penalty,
yeah.
and then the Jackman jacks him up like, no, don't touch the car. It's like, dude, you had one job and that job was to do nothing.
I remember that, yeah.
So
But he jacked him up and then left, and then someone else jacked him up. It was all a bit of a mess.
Yeah, no, so I will go with that. Dick of the day, Alfa Romeo, from Jackman. Cool.
There we go.
Right. Well, you're going to log off then, and then I'm just gonna close things off.
Bye. Sorry,
we'll
I'm very important
week.
and very busy. Love
No
you.
worries.
Bye.
Right, he's gone. Now we've ditched the square. Let's get this party started. I don't know what else we need to really talk about. F2 had 2 races at the weekend, and it was Djokovic came out with a win in the second race. The first race was won by, I'm trying to remember who it was off the top of my head now. I can't really tell by the standings who won the first race. I think it was Lawson. But Djokovic is top of the table now with 45 points. Lawson second with 34, Vashour 32, Vips 28, and Pourchaire 25 with Deruvula also on 25 in 6th. That's scary. That track is just scary in general. We've got at least one more year there. Probably more likely to have 2 or 3 if we go back to Saudi Arabia. And I really hope that the whole moral high ground thing means that they actually decide now after what happened at the weekend, which we didn't even talk about on the show today, about the whole terrorist attack and everything. Let's say terrorist, the Houthi rebels missile attack. I sincerely hope that they reassess why they need that much money from Saudi Arabia. They signed a deal in the height of the pandemic when they needed the money. They got massive losses. So perhaps maybe they can, deals like the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, maybe going back to South Africa at some point. Domenicali said the other day that there were 30 tracks that, we could easily have a 30 race calendar with the people that are interested. So, maybe we can sack off Saudi Arabia. Maybe we can stop going there. Maybe there's other places that we don't want to go that we can stop going to. But, China is a growing market. I know China's got just as much in the way of kind of poor human rights records in some areas as well, but at least they're not at war. That's the key. I'm fine. I'm not into sports washing and all that kind of stuff. But I think if we're going places that have bad human rights history and records, then yes, let's go there. Let's highlight it and let's say, right, what are you going to change? What can we help you change? What can you show us? You want to have us there, that's fine, but you have to make sure that you reach these levels, these levels of human decency. You can't just keep doing what you're doing. And if we can somehow, as a sport, enact that kind of change, then I'm all fine with going to these places. But if they're going to continue to be at war and bombing places and just having mass executions just before Formula One arrive, it's that kind of thing I'm not up for. Maybe we can lose Jeddah. That's the one that I've got the most problem with. I don't like that we go to Abu Dhabi, Bahrain, even to some degrees China, those kind of places and the way that they behave, not massively keen on that. But like I said, if we can, as a sport, assist in change, positive change, then I think sport can do a lot of good in that sense. But it can't just be a case of take the paycheck and we'll just pretend that everything's okay, because that's not fine. That's not good. We can't do that. But on a slightly more cheery note, 2 for 2. I think the new rules are working. I think the sport is in a good place. I think it's positive. I think moving forward, there can be some good things, good races coming up. Next up, we have Australia, as I said, on the 10th. the race on the 10th, Sunday the 10th of April. We do have 2 E-Prix in Rome on the 9th and 10th, and we've also got Long Beach in IndyCar on the 10th as well. So it's going to be a busy show. No support series, so we haven't got any F2 or F3 to worry about or anything like that. I don't believe we got W Series. I don't think that's started yet. I have to double check on that. I don't think W Series is up yet. But yeah, so that's what we've got coming up. That's going to be good to see. IndyCar going to start ramping up to the Indy 500 as well. Looking forward to watching that. That's going to be great. As well, just want to say, please support Furballs Rescue. Go to furballsrescue.org and support them in rehoming, these poor cats. And I don't know what's happened to my cat today. He's not bothered me at all. He's after having a few weeks of him really annoying me, he's been really good today and hasn't bothered me at all. Probably because I'm having a new kitchen fitted and he's still hiding behind the sofa because there's just noise everywhere. But thanks a lot for listening. It's been an odd show with Carl kind of doing it on a break. So thank you for bearing with us on that. And we won't be doing a podcast next week. We will probably do one after Australia. So we will see you then. Until then, goodbye. Bye.